Murder has taken place here.
Oh my God, they're burning!
Overwhelming paranormal evidence in the Station Hotel in Dudley.
Oh my God, did you see that?
Welcome to Most Haunted. This week we've been invited to the Station Hotel in Dudley, where there's been an awful lot of poltergeist activity, eerie feelings and spectral sightings. We just had to come and investigate.
The Station Hotel dates back to 1863. Some people believe that the hotel started life as a manor house, but according to records, this is not true. Only fields lay where the hotel stands to this day. Across from the hotel was the famous Opera House, where many famous actors walked the boards and used the hotel for their accommodation. It's believed a murder took place in the early 1900s. The manager allegedly murdered a young chambermaid in the cellars and put her body in a beer barrel. Some people still believe her remains are hidden within the hotel grounds.
There's stories that there was possibly an old manor house here as well, and they believe that the cellars are possibly the original cellars from that manor house. It's active at the moment, things are happening. It's a hotel, guests are reporting sightings, the staff are having things happening to them. We may well see something tonight.
A cellar is a foreboding place at the best of times, but this cellar was the scene of a gruesome murder. A young maid was killed by a past landlord and her lifeless body was just dumped into a beer barrel. Found guilty, the landlord later hanged for his evil deeds.
I was down the cellar and I put all the barrels together ready for the delivery, and I went to another part of the cellar to do an order, and when I came back the barrels had actually moved from where I'd put them up against the wall, lined up in order. I heard the barrels moving, but I just assumed it was another member of staff down there, but it wasn't. There was no one else in the building.
They lead the Dudley Ghost Walk from this place and come back at the end. Things happen to people on the ghost walks. Only a few years ago they had an actor and actress reenacting a murder that reputedly took place in the basement. They have a lady in a Victorian costume standing at the top of the stairs of the cellar and a gentleman dressed as the landlord at the bottom with the ghost walkers. The lady was waiting for her cue when an entity came up the stairs towards her. It was see-through, but she could tell that it was a lady dressed in Victorian clothes. She stared at it, stepped back. It walked up the stairs past her and vanished. She missed her cue. Everyone came up to see what was wrong, and she was just standing at the top of the stairs, shaking like a leaf.
Staff members have had knives thrown at them, and a ghostly image of an elderly gentleman dressed in black has been seen on many occasions sitting at this table as if he's waiting for something. But what is he waiting for?
The head chef come back with a cousin and this male friend who's never been in this place before, and he said there was 6 people up there. He said there was 4. He said he was like a kind of medium, and he saw 4 people sitting down and 2 people standing up.
There has been an incident where one duty manager had a knife come up the table at her in the restaurant, and there was no one there.
I never look up the end of the restaurant when I come into the restaurant, especially when the lights are out. And if somebody sends me out to the kitchen, I just walk straight through into the kitchen. I never look, just in case I see him.
Cold spots and dark, ghostly figures have been seen in this particular corridor, but it's the 5 adjoining bedrooms that are of particular interest. Rooms 213 to 217 have all witnessed the same spectral image. In this room, 214, a gentleman was lying asleep in bed. He woke up to find the ghost of a lady staring at him. Again, another gentleman woke up to find the same lady staring at him from this chair.
People have reported seeing a lady in white. Now, of course, in the cellar, story has it that one of the maids was murdered, and they believe that it's her tormented soul that still wanders around those bedrooms that, of course, she used to tend to when she was alive here.
When I first came here, which was like 12 months ago, I hadn't heard nothing. So I went into one of the rooms to sleep for the night, and I had an experience in the room.
Well, I've had residents coming down in the middle of the night crying that there's people been in the rooms and there's a lady been lying over them and like really scared, and I mean big men crying.
I got into bed, went to sleep, woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had a swooshing noise in my ears. And I thought, there's somebody in here with me. And I thought I saw a woman in the room with me.
This chap come down in the morning, and I mean, he was 6 foot hard, built like a brick house, and he was white. And he says, "Can I change rooms?" I don't know if I'm going to believe this, he says, but I was asleep. He said, and he woke up and saw somebody standing in the corner of the bedroom. And then he felt something on his chest, and he couldn't move. And he had to stop another week, and he was petrified.
I'm open-minded. I believe there's something, but whether it's ghosts or not.
I think it was a ghost. Definitely.
Phil Wyman, our paranormal investigator, had spent time getting to know the building prior to the crew's arrival. Taking temperatures, feeling for drafts and EMF fluctuations are just a small part of what's called a baseline test. Once Phil has recorded all the average readings, any unusual fluctuations can then be evaluated scientifically.
When you look at this particular building, you don't think it's anything eerie to look at, but why do you find it an interesting place to investigate?
Well, the amount of poltergeist activity connected with this hotel is unbelievable. We've had people being touched, knives being thrown at bar staff, things whispered in their ears, papers being moved, all sorts of things like that happening.
Now, what about this particular room here? Because I know this table's quite important.
This table where we're actually sat, there's a ghost of a man dressed in black who's been seen here quite regularly. They called him George, and this is his table, apparently.
Now, they say he's quite friendly, and that the ghosts, supposed ghosts here, are quite friendly, but I don't call knife-throwing friendly, do you?
No, it's not the friendliest way to welcome somebody, I must admit.
So, which out of the supposed hauntings do you find particularly interesting?
I'm more interested in the ghost of the White Lady with the rooms upstairs. Hopefully we can do a vigil in one of the rooms, room 214 or 217 are the most active. We can hopefully pick something up later on there.
Judging by experiences people have had, I think you're in for a good night. Hopefully.
As usual, Derek Okora, our spiritualist medium, was not aware of the location, its history, or its ghosts. Only a few of us knew of the murder that had taken place in the cellar in the early 1900s. So we were impressed that Derek wanted to start his investigation in the basement.
Oh. Did you go in here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. There's a murder taking place here. There's a murder that's taken place here. A lady's life was taken.
Who's the lady?
She was killed by a man. Her life was taken by a man. Who?